welcome along and welcome back to Purbeck Valley. We are heading down to the shop because we need to get rid of some weeds that we now have in our newly planted sunflowers. And thankfully we have a piece of kit that's available for us to lease that should do the job really rather nicely. And that is the car sunflower eco nets, perfect for doing sunflowers. So we will get the details of this. Nothing to actually customize, just a nice, easy piece of kit to use. So we will lease that for 1,305. Yes, okay. And this is one of those pieces of kit we'll probably lease and then return later. Now, I do have a little bit of a worry. I don't think our sunflowers are grown enough to have a problem if we run this while we have these tires on, but we are going to very carefully check when we get to the field, and the Vulture should run this fine. Now, the other job that we need to do today is we need to replenish our stocks of hay on the farm. We used it all up getting the cows fed for a good while, so we're going to go and do that today as well. I'm not going to start this from this corner of this field. I'm going to start it from the other one. And so what we'll do is we'll get this started doing the weeding. And once this is going, we'll go and get the mower and the tedder hooked up and get started doing our hay. Right, so is this going to destroy sunflowers? No, we're good. Excellent. Let's get the headland done first then. So number of headlands 2, single tool, sharpen the corners, longest edge, generate me a fieldwork course. And I actually want to redo that because we want to do headland first, generate field course. That's much better. Yeah, you can see the course now. We start at this point here and we finish up here, so it's easy to extract ourselves from the field. So first waypoint, we will unfold this. And, oh, it's going to go in the opposite direction straight off the bat. So just need to reverse that out. Turn it round. And that missing patch there, that is due to me missing to actually seed that bit. Right, so that there, and away that goes. And our Vulture should be good. Yep. And we'll be weed-free in no time. So meanwhile, we're going to jump into the class here. And the class is a little bit of overkill for what we're doing, especially as we've got the front 3-point on the Vulture now. But with the Vulture being much more suited to the job we've got it on, it makes sense to get this tractor doing this. So we'll come in here and get this. And of course, this is a 2-step process. I've still got the weight on the front of this tractor. So let's go and drop that off at the other end here. So yeah, this is going to be a 2-step process. We've got the mower and the tedder first, and then the windrower and the baler after that. I'm gonna get this done. No, that's because I've got the tractor selected. So let's disconnect that and then back ourselves out of here. We can now put the mower on the front, which is what I originally intended, and get the tedder on the back. It's going to be quite tight to turn around here. Should be able to do that. Right, connect all of that up. Lift it. Good. It seems to automatically lift, but still needs the lifting to be done. And back over here. Back this in. This shed is just big enough to fit this tractor. Quite a nice lean to this. But it's yeah, it's very tight. That up. Forwards, out, and we'll start on field 67. And then we can do field 68 after that. So like usual, I'm going to get myself all lined up. We'll get everything unfolded. And we'll get everything started up. And we'll drop it down. Yeah, there we are. Header out behind. And now we can just time-lapse the job. And that's the final little section. We've got a few little bits of cleanup to do up here. So we're just going to go around and do those. It'll mess up the lines a little bit. But I think grabbing all these tufts is really a fairly important thing for us to do here. Just to make sure we get the maximum on here. And you can see our field here has gone from a much more lighter sort of lime green to a much deeper dark green on the map. And so, yeah, we've done a lot to improve our yield on this grass. I'm very pleased. That's such good news. And that should help us raise the environmental score on here as well. I think that will definitely come into effect now. And I need to check a theory I have, and that is if the environmental score only improves after you cut the crop, because if it does, that explains a lot of why it's been hanging around at sort of 38, 39, and if it doesn't, I don't know what else we need to do on these fields to get that environmental score improved, because as far as I can tell, we've done everything we can now to improve the situation, and I don't want to be losing more money when we sell stuff. So let's spin this around. We've got one little tuft left here. I think there might be, yeah, there's one in the middle of the field as well. I think we're mostly done. Wow, it's more than I thought. Get that there, get that there. Right, and then that is this field done. So do that. Fold these up so that we can actually get out the gateway. We'll head over to the second field. But that has been really good. I'm impressed with that. But now we're heading to the second field. I just want to check that situation there. An instant improvement. Look at that. We're up to 92 on there. Our problem is weed control, which is going to be sorted as soon as we've weeded field 32. We might run this hoe over the grass fields as well, maybe not, but yeah, weed control is the reason. And the reason why that's been so low, if we go onto here and we click on here, you buy that area and that area together. So these two fields, they influence each other on their environmental score. So if you don't get all of your nitrogen and everything on your grass fields and they're grouped with one of your other fields, then you've got a problem, because it's going to immediately affect them when you come to do the environmental score side of things. You really need to have both fields sorted. Right, we are getting started on here. Immediately I'm seeing a lime green cut on this field, so let's get on it and get this cut as well. Just as we're finishing up the last 2 rows on here, the rain has started to fall. Not a huge problem for us on here. We won't get bogged down in the mud. We probably want to get this hay baled up fairly quickly though, because obviously at the moment it's getting wetter. It is going to be a problem though for our weeding. The longer the rain is here, the less we're going to be able to weed today. And yeah, it really needs to be a short shower. This unfortunately doesn't look like it's going to be so. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get the last couple of tufts on here. I think the Vulture will get finished on the field it's on at the moment. I think though it's going to be hard push to get to the other field. Let's just finish this off here. And should do it. I kind of, there's an interesting question I have around FS25. And that is, we know that the weather is going to affect your crops. And we know that it's not going to be a massive penalty, but it's still going to have an effect. I wonder if it will cause problems with your hay and your grass. People have been calling for a return to the days of sort of FS19's way of handling grass, hay and straw, where they will rot down if you leave them, and especially if they get rained on. So yeah, I wonder if we're going to see a return to that, and whether that will be something that could be turned on and off. That would be pretty cool if that was the case. Right, let's turn these off, fold them up, and we'll head back to the farm and switch over to the other. Because yeah, before it gets too wet, we need to get this hay baled up. So looking at the weather, the rain has set in for the rest of the day. Thankfully, the Vulture is done and finished. It looks like it's going to rain tomorrow as well. So we've got to get this, or get these weeds out. However, with this much rain, I think what we might end up doing is going into the next day and basically letting this rain pass through. If we can do that, we'll end up with a much drier setup and be able to actually get the job done. Whereas I think we're going to get bogged down in the crop if we leave it. So let's head over to the next day and see if it's a little bit drier. Well, we're starting off with a dry, sunny morning. The forecast is really good, so the hay's had some time to dry out after that deluge of rain the previous day. But I can jump in the Vulture. We'll get this over to the other field. I think the ground's still a little wet, so it'll sink in a little bit, but shouldn't be too bad. And yeah, this is going to be a much better day to get the hay all baled up and back to the cows. So as with the last field, we'll set up a course play course for the Vulture on here. We'll start it from here. The way I think this is going actually is counterclockwise. So put that there. We will generate a course. And yep, so same settings as before, and that is working very nicely. So first waypoint, let's unfold the back. And actually, I'm going to get it a little bit further into the field so that it's in the right position. And then this will get rid of all of those pesky weeds that we've got on this field as well. And that means we can jump into our class here and get our Vermeer baler out along with our windrower. Somebody did comment after I used this last time of people who use these in the UK, which is quite cool because it kind of vindicates me a little bit for using it myself. So that's pretty awesome. We'll go around, we'll get both of these fields baled. We'll probably do it in one go, and that way it'll all be done and dusted. But yeah, I think this should give us, well, this should give us a lot more bales than we've had before, because in this instance, we've got a much bigger yield off both fields. So turn it on, drop it down, and away we go. Oh man, I love this front-mounted windrower. That got a bit messy in a couple of places, but for the most part, I think we're okay. We've got a couple of bits that we can't pick up until the bales are moved, which is a little bit annoying. But for the most part, I think we've got everything collected. I don't like leaving stuff on the field. I really don't like doing that. But there's a couple of bits that I just don't see how we're going to pick up right now. So we'll get this finished off, brought round, and yeah, the only thing we've left to do today really is to get these all picked up, which, considering it's 20 past 12, is pretty good. Although this has now become a 2-day job thanks to all that rain. Back this off, turn this all off, and fold it up. And what's our bale count for today? 25. That's pretty good. I'm very happy with that, in fact. Previously, we did not have that much, and it meant that we're well ahead. 25 is a really good count. Previously, we have not had that many hay bales, so this should keep our cows going for a good long while. So I've dropped off the baler and the windrower, and we're going to go around now and get all of these cleaned up. Now, at 8 bales ago, it is going to be a full trailer 3 times. 3 times 8 is, yeah, it's 21. So, I know it's 24. So just over 3 full trailers of this. That is absolutely fantastic. We'll get these back. They'll need loading up then with the bale stacker, or with the front loader, and then they'll get nicely out of the way. But yeah, this is plenty of hay we've got on here now, and that'll keep our cows going for a good while. In fact, still got 2 more to get off this field. I'm on the last trailer full. I've picked up the 2 from the other field. I've picked up all the ones from over here. Ah, there it is. I can see it now. I was trying to figure out where the 25th bale was, and it's hiding over here. So yeah, we'll need to come back and grab that in a minute. But otherwise, we've got everything collected up, and we'll go and stick these with the rest of the bales ready for stacking. It looks like the Vulture is nearly done as well. That's getting very close to the end of that field. So that's good news. It looks like everything has been wrapped up here pretty much in May. And we're looking good. We are looking ready to get into harvest, which is great news. We'll just have to see which happens first, whether we need to be harvesting silage or whether we need to be harvesting the sunflowers. But either way, I think we're in a fairly good place. In fact, I think we're probably going to be harvesting silage because we are going to need some more cash in order to get the header for the combine, along with getting some other bits and pieces, I think. Plus, there's always likely something to turn up with the shop. Speaking of which, we haven't checked the shop for this second day yet, so we'll see what's popped up. Knowing our luck, it will be the header for the combine now that we can't actually buy it. And that will do there. Drop those off. Yeah, I'll go and pick up that remaining bale in a bit. But there's our stack of hay bales, nicely ready for us to get stacked into the shed. And not really. We've got some grass bales. We've got a hay bale, which is going cheap. And there's another Vermeer baler. That's the 3rd one that's been in there this series. We already own one. There's some solid fertilizer, which I am very tempted to pick up at half price. In fact, yes, we will get that bought. And I think, yeah, it is just a single one, so we will buy that. Otherwise, yeah, nothing else in the shop. And our Vulture has finished now, so really, all that's left is a little bit of clearing up. As a result, I'm going to leave this here, so all that remains is for me to say
thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. Special thanks to all my patrons and channel members. Your support is invaluable in making these videos and helping the channel to grow. For more from Virtual Farmer, check out the links below, follow on Twitch to watch live, and for more videos, subscribe and ring that bell. I will see you next time. Goodbye.